sound so epic. Horns are screaming, I ain't the one you wanna mess with. Use a joke, I ain't the one you wanna jest with. Riot, we came to riot.
Fires the back shoulder.
Yeah. Welcome to New England, kid.
Riot.
Good placement. Boot by Eddie Pinheiro. And the kick is gone.
Coming forward, ours. Riot, we came to riot. The revolution is starting, it's the hour.
Oh, get it, young man. You did it again.
Coming forward, ours. Yeah, we coming forward, ours. Yeah, we coming forward, ours.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you all had a fabulous weekend. Thank you so much for hanging with us here on First Take. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, I'm Molly Karam.
How are you?
Appreciate you all. I'm good.
How was y'all
Good
weekend?
weekend? It was good. Yeah. Ready to do this?
Ready.
All right, let's get it. Have the tables turned? Dak Prescott and this new-look Cowboys offense are looking like something special, fellas, as Dallas begins the season 2-0 with a win over division rival Washington. Meanwhile, as for the guy that did get paid, Carson Wentz and his Philadelphia Eagles fell to the Falcons on Sunday Night Football, losing both Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey to injuries in the first half. Wentz was even evaluated for concussion and left the game briefly before returning. Dak has thrown for 7 touchdowns, only 1 pick, with a league-leading QBR of 93 so far this season, while Wentz has thrown 4 touchdown passes and 2 picks in 2 games for Philly. Stephen A.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Who would you take right now?
Right now. It would be Dak Prescott. It would be Dak Prescott. I think he's absolutely been phenomenal. As far as I'm concerned, thus far, he's been the best quarterback in the NFC. And whether or not that's going to last remains to be seen. And I'll leave Carson Wentz to Max. But I'm just saying that right now, after 2 weeks in this NFL season, throwing for nearly 700 yards, throwing for 7 touchdowns, just 1 interception, displaying the leadership that he has displayed, playing with the level of consistency that he has played with Kellen Moore, new offensive coordinator, really airing it out and showing his innovative skills as well. He's clearly an upgrade from Chan Gilly. I don't think that anybody would deny that based on what we've seen over the next 2 weeks. Now, obviously, we have to consider the level of competition, which is something that I pay attention to in a very rapt fashion, I might add. The Giants and the Redskins are not defensive juggernauts. Let's just be clear. I'm also paying attention to Josh Norman, a guy that has been on this show before, a guy that I respect, a guy that got $75 million from the Washington Redskins. Let me put an APB out for Josh Norman. Deshaun Jackson burnt you in week 1. This kid, Devin Smith, out of Ohio State yesterday. It wasn't Gallup. It wasn't Amari Cooper. It was him well, I'm not going to say because you know how they always deny, like, oh, excuse me, it wasn't, you got to understand football. You don't know the player, whatever. You were in the damn vicinity when a bomb was caught. Okay? The number 24 Redskins jersey is what we've seen the first 2 weeks of the season when big plays have been given up a touchdown. So we got to pay attention to that, okay? Having said all of that, considering the fact that they haven't really focused and leaned on the running game the way that they have customarily over the first 3 seasons of Dak Prescott's career. Looking at him quarterback, looking at the number of receivers that he's hitting, he's targeting Cooper, Gallup, Smith, Witten, the list goes on and on. The fact is, the one constant has been Dak Prescott continuing to show that he has elevated his level of play, and he is somebody, this is why he's looking for a contract now. This is why he's looking for a contract when the owners are looking for every excuse to lowball him. He's not giving them anything. I've got to give credit where credit is due thus far. Not only would I take Dak Prescott over Wentz, but the first 2 weeks of this season, Dak Prescott has been the best quarterback in the NFC.
First of all, the cornerback, when people criticize you when you said, who did you bring up before? Who got burnt?
Josh Norman.
Josh Norman gets burnt by Devin Smith. Devin Smith's a speedster.
Yes, he is.
And that, you give Dak Prescott, too. You sell the play fake, then the safety bites, and now the safety's not where he's supposed to be. Josh Norman gets the blame, right? Okay. But that just points out how deep the Cowboys are. Everywhere you look, you say Devin Smith, who's that, the 3rd, 4th best receiver on the team, and he can burn you like that? The offensive line is the best in football. And by the way, you know who they were supposed to get competition from this year for best in the NFC offensive line? The Eagles. But the Eagles are hurt. Yes. And that's why you're not comparing apples to apples. Now, look, Dak Prescott, I've said, in the past reminds me of Tom Brady and Russell Wilson early in their careers. Game managers, big on third down, cool under pressure. And by the way, he shows up on the field, right? He's not getting hurt all the time. He takes what the defense gives him, all that stuff. And now he's elevated. He's taken it. Can he be elite? He's playing at an elite level so far. But with a fully healthy squad, the offensive line, the running back, full complement of receivers, the defense, everything firing on all cylinders. And now a more dynamic offensive coordinator in terms of play calling. So Dak has all that. What does Wentz have? Look around him. It's like a battle zone. Everyone is getting hurt. Guys are getting hurt before the game starts. They're not even suiting up enough tight ends. Yeah. They have to use extra offensive linemen on offensive plays. I mean, everywhere you look.
Guys in the secondary.
In the secondary, on the offensive line, everywhere you look, guys are getting hurt. So Wentz has been uneven. First halves have been bad. Second halves, though, we've seen him do things Dak just can't do. Not yet. Wentz can do things. It's like if you put Patrick Mahomes on a team without enough around him, and I know the Eagles look on paper stacked, but in terms of what they're actually fielding, Mahomes wouldn't look like he looks. Wentz reminds me more of Rodgers than Brady or Russell Wilson. In other words, he is a little bit more of, or maybe I should say Favre, a little bit more of a risk taker. A little bit more with the theatrics and heroics. And maybe in the long run, that's not as good. But the heights he hits are different. When you put your eyeballs on Carson Wentz, if it weren't for Patrick Mahomes, he would be the talk in terms of, like, who's the talent that replaces Rodgers on the top of the quarterback heap. We're not talking him because Mahomes is from outer space. But otherwise, we'd be talking Carson Wentz. And by the way, he won the game with a pass to Aguilar, who dropped the pass. He won the game against a pretty good team in Atlanta, at least on paper. So if you're saying who do you want more, Dak is in a better situation right now. Give me Wentz.
A couple of things. Number one, we don't know if Atlanta's a really good defensive team. That's number one. Number two, when you talk about the Eagles and their injuries, let's keep in mind that Carson Wentz and the Eagles weren't injured in the first half of game one when they were down 17-0 to the Redskins. So let's take that into consideration. Number three, when we also point to the Eagles and we sit up there and we say, excuse me, Carson Wentz could do things Dak can't do. I think the thing that we have to acknowledge at this point in time, we don't definitively know what Dak Prescott can't do. We are watching this guy evolve before our very eyes, and we've watched the growth, the maturation take place. And unlike Wentz, who's been injured not 1 but 2 years, forcing him to miss 2 consecutive postseasons, including a Super Bowl championship run, Dak Prescott hasn't missed a single game. He hasn't missed any of the 50 regular season games that he has been in. He hasn't missed a couple of postseason games, the 3 postseason games that he's played in, and the maturation process has been taking fold. And so when we look at it from that perspective, combined with the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are perceived as being a team with better personnel, are we sure that we are in a position to say that Dak Prescott can't do certain things that Carson Wentz? It's one thing to look at Patrick Mahomes and say, you can't do that because this dude seems otherworldly. He just seems from another dimension. He's that special of a talent. But in terms of everybody else, when you look at good quarterbacks to great quarterbacks in the National Football League, outside of the resume of Breeze, of Brady, of Rodgers, stuff like that, the only person you could look at and say, well, Dak probably can't do
Mahomes.
Is Mahomes.
I'll say this.
No, and Lamar Jackson because of his ability to run with the football.
I'll say this
Nothing
about
else.
Dak. My honest opinion is I agree with that sentiment basically. Dak is, it's like, let's see what he can do, and he's showing it now. But you have to look at the context in which he's showing it. He has every single thing a quarterback could need. Carson Wentz on paper has it, but not actually out on the field right now. So I go to another Dallas Cowboy who I sometimes reference when we talk running backs, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith's greatness is beyond question. But most people don't consider him. Like, do you think he's the greatest running back of all time? Even when he was putting up record numbers. Because you could see the offensive, his situation was, and you think, well, what would happen if you put Barry Sanders behind there? By the way, you could have made the same arguments back then. Even this, well, let's say Barry Sanders did run, behind that offensive line. He's still more of a risk taker. He'll sometimes catch a loss even behind a good offensive line, where Emmitt Smith gives you steady returns.
Wrap it up, guys.
Dak is like that kind of player. He gives you steady returns and he's ascending, but Carson Wentz can perform at an elite level.
I like your Emmitt Smith example because when he had that 42-yard run yesterday, Dak, I was thinking just like Emmitt Smith. A lot more to come here on First Take. How important was AB's impact on the field yesterday? Former Pro Bowl receiver Brandon Marshall will tell us. He'll be here in studio. Stephen A. What else you got?
More First Take coming your way. That's what I've got. After Drew Brees' injury, are the Saints done? And I'll tell you how much pressure is on Mike Tomlin with my Steelers going 0-2 on the season thus far. Plus, why is Max Kellerman calling an argument on Green Bay's sideline a big deal? All that and more coming up. First Take in the house. Don't touch that dial. It's Monday. Let's get it started.